Again, I think she was just the best person for the job at the time.
She was the only candidate left standing. She didn't have to put her hat in the ring. This is where I come over a little bit dewy-eyed, because I think she's done it out of a sense of patriotic duty, but while being unable to say out loud that I have to do this, I have to keep this ship as steady as I can while I wait for the rest of my party to realise what a nonsense course we've embarked upon. But if you voted for it, I doubt you're going to agree with that analysis.
Do you know what? I'm one of these people that I do actually regret doing what I did. I was astonished, like the 17 point whatever million, you know, and it was only by a very slim margin that things got through. But you know,
this is going to sound terribly rude. I'm not quite sure why you phoned me. I'm glad you have. don't get me wrong, but I mean, in many ways, I'm looking for the people who are still in denial, the people who think she could actually have done it differently, because I can't, for the life of me, see how the cards could have fallen any differently.
No, you're probably right. Actually, I'm just voicing my opinion. And sorry, James. No,
that's what I said. I don't want to sound ungrateful. I mean, crikey, I spend 15 minutes every morning thinking out loud on the radio, but people at least know what they're going to get when it's me. I don't know that James and Waltham Abbey's public cogitations, public contemplations are the same. What do you think's going to happen next? I
think there's going to be potentially a second referendum on the that's on the cards anyway, and if you know, Macron and they want it, there's going to be a backfalling, and also I think what we're going for anyway is just Brexit all in name and nothing else.
Yes, but again, I'm left wondering what the alternative could possibly have been, and I salute your honesty. Actually, I'm glad you did ring, because I think that the confusion that you just articulated is probably the inevitable first step away from realising that you got your vote wrong. 26 after 10, and we have to find a way to remove any sense of shame or criticism from people who are open-eyed and open-minded enough to admit that they've made that mistake. Unless, of course, there is an answer to the question of what could Theresa May have done differently that would make a nonsense of my suggestion that eventually reality has to bite everybody in the way that it's clearly bitten James in Waltham Abbey. Let me give you the phone number, 0345 6060 973. This is one of those exercises in fate tempting, because for all the sort of furious Brexit rhetoric and pro-Jacob Rees-Mogg claims out there, I don't think anyone can describe how Theresa May could have done things differently. And I'm going to keep asking that question until we've given up. And then, in an ideal world, we could all admit that she couldn't have done, but we won't. We'll have half the country still shouting, she could have done things better, if only she'd done this, she should have been tougher, she should have done that. And as soon as you ask for detail, it all falls apart. Colin's in Camberley. Colin, what would you like to say?
Good morning, James. Your question is, could she do things differently? I think her first objective was to come pre-empt, because that's the objective of most politicians, and you get yourself a bust in the House of Commons and you live forever in infamy or wherever. But
yeah, okay, we can just leave that on the board, can't we? That's
all right then. Yeah. Okay, Brexit impossible. Anybody who works, lives, or even reads about Brexit knows it's impossible.
Well, that's now we're in the realms of let me read my profile from the Sun, because you can have a bit of this as well. As soon as you say that, and I've said it all morning, so I'm not criticising you, you become the epitome of a smug, sanctimonious, condescending, obsessively politically correct champagne socialist public schoolboy Ramona, if you simply describe reality. That's the editor of the Sun, Tony Gallagher, still not replied to our request for an interview. I'm sure it's because he's too busy being all brave and outspoken, but it seems to you and me that reality has to bite everybody eventually. It doesn't necessarily mean that the way she's done it was the only way, does it?
Well, James, you all heard a king canoe when his subjects said, "Oh, king, you can do anything, you know, you could stop the waves coming in." We've got people out there who think this is doable, and you've got to show by example, you know. So when you said that she put Johnson, Fox and Davis in, that's the first step, because they're doing the thing that they say can be done. So no argument there.
Yes.
So we've got to go through this really painful process because the EU is not going to give. There is no deal. Let's face it. May's own red lines, which again could be a tactic, show we're not going to get anything but a Canada deal, which is going to be disastrous.
Which won't include financial services, which takes 10% out of our economy almost immediately.
And pharmaceuticals, everything, you know, it's going to kill us, basically. But you can tell Brexiters this.
Why not? I possibly have spent more time banging my head against this particular brick wall than anybody else in Britain, so I'd love to know what the view is like from Camberley. Why can't you tell them that? What is it that creates the blockage in their passages?
It's funny you should say that. I ran to a Brexiter yesterday that are converted just by having a quick chat.
Yes, of course.
By a little
steady on with that. It's a little. My kids need shoes, mate. I don't want you nicking my act.
All right. I do blame the journalistic world, but unfortunately it is run by certain people, as you know. So the three key lies of Brexit are sovereignty, immigration, and ECG.
Yes.
We've got sovereignty. The government wrote it in their white paper. Page 2, it says there, we've always had sovereignty. Bang, line number 1 busted.
Yes.
The ECJ cannot interfere in national law. Bang, line number 2.
Yes.
Okay, immigration, we always had control over immigration.
Didn't know this at the time. I think 2020 hindsight is a wonderful thing. I wasn't fully au fait with that 3-month rule that is imposed in countries like Belgium, to be honest with you, and I'm a journalist, so I wasn't selling the opposite line. I wasn't saying it didn't exist, but I didn't do nearly enough to explain its existence, because I was trying to be blinking impartial. Biggest mistake of my career.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I mean, I was even sitting last night with my brilliant other half, who is probably far more intelligent than I is, and she made a comment about, when somebody disagrees with the courts in this country, they take it to the ECJ. And I said, no, hold on, no, they can't. You're thinking of the Court of Human Rights, which again is nothing to do with the EU.
But you're doing the detail again, and the detail, it all falls apart. Do you think Theresa May could have played the hand of cards she got any differently?
No, Jane, all she can do is hang on, stop people like Rees-Mogg taking over, who will take us off the cliff. She needs to hang on.
Why would he take us off the cliff? I mean, this is a genuine question. I'm a little late for the news, but I agree with your analysis. I'd like us both to be wrong, but what do you think motivates him, if it's so obvious to you that his kind of blind Brexit is bonkers?
His self-motivation is probably going to be the tax avoidance laws that are going to come in from the EU.
And the idea that, the financial tax transactions that they've, I think we vetoed it last time, it was actually before the European Parliament. So just, you mean his role, I think the only job he's ever done as a hedge fund manager, as a money mover, might be perhaps the explanation for his politics. I hope not, actually. I'd prefer to give him the benefit of the doubt. 10:31 is the time. Not a Brexiter in sight, not one. This is because we furiously vet all calls and only let on stupid people. If you dwell in certain corners of the internet, or it's because all of the people who are still insisting that Brexit is a good idea and Theresa May could somehow have played her cards differently are too, what word should we use? Querulous to call in. Come on, guys, don't be shy. 0345 6060 973. It's 10:32. Simon Conway has the headlines.
The accountancy firm KPMG is going to be investigated by the industry watchdog over its audits of the collapsed contractor Carillion. The Financial Reporting Council will look into whether the firm breached ethical and technical standards. A man is due to appear in court charged in connection with the deaths of 3 teenagers who were hit by a car. The group of friends died after a crash in Hayes in West London on Friday. Russian athletes will be banned from taking part in the Winter Paralympics in South Korea in March. The International Paralympic Committee is maintaining its suspension of the national team over allegations of state-sponsored doping at the 2014 Games. LBC weather, rain and strong winds moving across central and southern parts of the UK through the day, turning brighter in the north and a high of 12 degrees.
LBC travel in Cricklewood, the A41 Hendon Way southbound is partially blocked because a coach has broken down at the Vale. It means there are queues from the North Circular at the Brent Cross flyover. In Bow, on the A12 Blackwall Tunnel approach northbound, the entry slip road at Old Ford is partially blocked because the car's broken down. In Hammersmith, King Street stays closed in both directions between Coldhawk Road and Studland Street. That's after a water main burst on Friday. On the rails, there's no London Overground between Chingford and Liverpool Street because some plastic sheeting has got caught in the wires at Clapton. And on the tube, Northern Line trains aren't stopping at Warren Street because of faulty escalators. LBC Travel, I'm Dave Goff.
This is LBC.
Sometimes knowing what to do with your savings can be a little